Hey guys, welcome. Today we're going to talk about week 9 on your It's Learning page. So for this week we're going to be doing some short focused research and looking at the idea of stars. Stars are an inspiration for many literary works and artistic works. They're also a focus of science and astronomy. So to get us started for your warm-up, I want you to write down either on a piece of paper or you can start a Word document. What do you know about stars? Think about them both in a scientific sense and also in a literary sense. You know that they are so often symbolic and how they are used in popular culture. We call some of the most famous people in the world stars. Why? So think about your own perception of the idea of a star and create a brief list. You can just use bullet points. Once you've done a little bit of brainstorming, we're going to move on to the learning activity for learning activity 1 for week 9. So this requires you to do a little bit of research. Research answers to the following questions and record your findings. Don't forget to use and cite credible sources. Preferably, I'd like you to use the Follett Library Catalog on our HCPS homepage, and I'm going to show you how to access that. So what you want to do is you want to go to your start.hcps page, and remember to scroll down until you see the tree, and that's your Follett Destiny Library Catalog. Once you're here, you will go into our Edgewood homepage. And you don't need this, okay? You just log in with your Harford County Public Schools account. So once you're here, you have a really good resource to do your research on stars. And the best probably sources to use would be here in your databases. And there's a couple that you could choose from. So right at the top of the page, Miss C has this Britannica page listed here because it's a great place to start for almost any research. So if you want to get into it, if it does prompt you to have a password, if you just go back here, she has the links and passwords right down here. Okay, and then I believe there is a page or a little site down here that has the passwords on it right here. There it is. Passwords for the databases. So you can use that document to get into anything that might be password protected. But once you're in here, Britannica School, just type in the word star. So once you've got a good encyclopedia resource for it, you're going to answer these questions here. What is the scientific definition of a star? What is the function of a star? How are stars created? So on and so forth. This is going to give you a baseline of knowledge about the topic. Our second learning activity for the week is to create a brief presentation, all right? So you can either use PowerPoint or you can draw it by hand. I call these a one-pager, and they're pretty popular. But remember, if you have access to your email, you also have PowerPoint, and PowerPoints can be pretty fun and easy to put together. So it's included with your Office 365, so you have it even at home, even if you don't have a regular Microsoft suite. So when I say a one-pager here, I did put a little example of what a one-pager might look like. I didn't fill in any of the information for you, but I put the prompts, and that's how I set up my little one-page presentation. So you can do whichever one of those you prefer. It doesn't really matter. So what you want to do is include the information that's listed below on your presentation. You want to put your personal perception of stars. You can think both literally and metaphorically or symbolically. You also want a scientific definition or understanding of what stars, and make sure you cite your research. So if you got that from your Encyclopedia Britannica, make sure that you cite that you got it from there. An artistic or literary definition, or your understanding of a star, and statement about how your perception of stars has expanded or changed because of your research. So we're all going to go in with an idea that, a star is a glowing thing in a sky that's pretty far away, but it's kind of pretty, right? Your personal perception of stars might expand beyond that. That's my basic perception when I think about a star. But after doing this research about what stars are made of and all that, my understanding it has changed a little bit. So then make sure that you also have an MLA Mike Works Cited page or Works Cited section on your one-pager. So that's learning activity 2. Now what you're going to do with that little presentation that you make is you're going to post it onto an online discussion board. There will be a link here. I just haven't turned it on yet because the page isn't on. And you will go to the discussion board and post your picture or your PowerPoint that you made. You'll look at 2 other students and respond to their presentations and compare and contrast how your individual perspectives of the stars adapted because of the research. Finally, for closure, you'll write this on the same page that you did those questions in your warm-up. Based on yours and your classmates' own adapting understanding of stars, predict how authors or artists who use stars metaphorically, remember metaphorically is that comparative manner, in their works might handle learning the science behind stars. How might it affect their perceptions of stars and how stars are used in their works? So there's a brief overview of your lesson material for today. Please remember that our objective is to explore credible online sources to determine both the scientific meaning and the literary or metaphorical use of stars. So we're expanding that knowledge because we are going to be next week looking at a couple of different literary and artistic works that focus on stars. So good luck, and if you have any questions, please let me know.